Good evening, everybody. Namo Buddhaya. My name is Linda, and welcome you all to Mindfulness through Buddhism Sutta Study class. Um, just would like to share a little bit about the class. This is a class where we are going to deep dive into the teachings of the Buddha through Buddha's discourses. And this is very important because through the suttas, we will learn how to develop our wisdom and slowly develop to see things as they really are. Only that way we can attain the true happiness. And eventually, of course, our final goal will be Nibbana. Now, tonight we are very fortunate because we have Amita Kema Bante with us. Bante is very experienced in the sutta, and for me, Bante is known as somebody who can explain the suttas in a very simple way that's so easy to understand, but yet profound. So thank you, Bante, for being with us.
Hello, everyone. So yeah, I just went through the video and took some notes. So I guess before I jump into the dependent origination, what's the purpose behind diving into it? So in most of our lives as people, we chase fulfillment in like sense pleasures and like things based around our senses. But the problem with this is most things are impermanent, or I guess all things are impermanent and conditioned. So even if we chase these things, after a while, those things go away if the conditions are no longer there for them to be. So is it possible for people to have fulfillment? And Bante said, yes, that fulfillment comes by eradicating all attachment. And that's where the idea of dependent origination comes from. So, independent origination, there's a principle called the conditional principle, which is that when this exists, that comes to be. So, like when A exists, B happens. And then with the cessation of this, that ceases, or with the cessation of A, B ceases. Okay, I think next he covered the 12 links of the dependent origination, which in order are ignorance, formations, consciousness, name and form, the six sense faculties, contact, feeling, craving, clinging, becoming. I heard at the beginning of this another way to put becoming is like the arranging of karma, and then birth, and then aging and death. So Bante stressed the importance of trying to both understand and apply this here and now, and the need to avoid mapping it in our minds in a wrong way, because if we do that, it's hard to like reverse that misunderstanding. um, Later on, Bante stressed that if we properly understand that because of birth, aging, and death occur, we will understand the connection between this principle and dependent origination and the Eightfold Path. So that's important. And then as we gain more wisdom by studying this and properly understanding it, we get more freedom. Uh, it was kind of scattered towards the end, so I just took a few notes here and there. But Bante also stressed that all attachments in our day to day lives are based on delusion, and that we all have attachments because we're like normal people, we're not ascetics. uh so all of these are based on delusion, and as we move away from the delusion and gain more wisdom, that's where the freedom comes in. And then towards the end of our I guess our class, the Bhante talked about how Ananda, who was a monk at the Buddhist time, was actually admonished by the Buddha for saying that dependent origination was simple. And he gave the analogy that the dependent origination and like the chain of it in our lives is like a tangled string that's hard to unravel. And the difficulty of understanding it is what leads to like all the suffering that exists in the world. So this is a very important thing to properly understand and unravel. But yeah.
Thank you so much, Dilekpa. Many merits. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now, today we are going to deep dive into a beautiful and deep sutta called Sammaditthi Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, number 9. So, Bante, please teach us. Thank you, Bante.
Okay, and Dilip, it's clear and nice and well arranged and appreciate and happy to hear your summary. And right, let's pay our respect first of all. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. My homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's pay our respect to our teacher, Pinat Lokoswami Natsi also. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, thank you. Dear Dhamma friends, so yeah, now we are diving into deep dependent origination. So you know that in our classes, it's not just you are learning something and just letting it go. We are learning something, a way we can apply it to our lives. And so therefore, we are learning these teachings with kind of a system, so that in it allows you to have a clear understanding, and it allows you to practice Dhamma well, and without having that idea of like, I know so many things but still I'm struggling what to do, something like that. And this way you will be able to be a good Dhamma teacher in future. When someone asks question, you can refer, okay, this is the way to learn things. So as I always say, yes, of course, you are allowed to have your own ideas, and these ideas our mind can create. That I may have my own idea and refer point of views, but so we should not name it as the sutta class. If we wanted to talk if I want to talk my point of view, so then we can have a coffee chat while discussing. But when we learning the teachings of the Buddha, we always know that we are referring and we are learning from the Buddha scripts, because it has that connection. So then you can easily connect the dots and have that the understanding what Buddha gifted us. So today our class main purpose is to understand that the benefit of understanding even a one sector of this dependent origination, and when it's the same wisdom or the same right view which we gain, even you understand what you most familiar, and in that way you do not want to worry about things you are not so familiar, and you feel like I can't understand. Because in this sutta, today the sutta we are going to learn from Arahant Sariputta. Arahant Sariputta is the main disciple of the Buddha, one of the main. There were two, and then that Arahant Sariputta teaches us that different ways of that gaining the Sammaditthi, or the gaining the right view. So this right view means not just a point of view. As I always say, that in this world, people talk about my view is the right view, the other one's view is wrong view. So, but when it comes to Buddha's teaching, Sammaditya, or the right view, means not just a point of view, understanding how all the point of views arising in our head and how it falls. Like understanding all the point of views or the visions arising and falling, rather than attaching or believing this is something what I should believe. So it's like it's something beyond the Shraddha, or the beyond the faith. It's pure understanding. That understanding create faith. So it's like that the Sammaditthi is a sector of wisdom. Because of that wisdom, someone gain faith or the confidence towards Buddha, It's not like faith creates wisdom. Actually, that wisdom is the reason to have that unshakable faith towards Buddha's knowledge. I'm diving you to the sutta. This is from Majjhima Canon, 9th sutta. Evam me sutang, thus I have heard, Ekan samayam bhagava, back then Buddha lived. Savatyang viharati jetavani anatha pindika sarami. In Savattis, Jetavanas monastery. Tatrako ayasma Sariputta bhikkhu amantesi. Then in there, Arahant Sariputta also lived with Buddha and the other monks. Arahant Sariputta addressed monks saying, also like fellow monks, like friend monks, likewise brother monks. Ausoti kote bhikkhu ayasmato Sariputta sapachyasosa. The other brother monks also said, dear Sariputta, Bhante Sariputta. Then Arahant Sariputta delivered this discourse, said this. Samma Samma Dittiti also uchati. Dear brother monks, we say Samma Ditti or the right view, right view. So, how can we define someone has right view? And how can we know that he has unshakable confidence about these teachings? And how do we know this person already have came to this Dhamma stream or to the path of realization? So why there it says that faith and teachings are coming together? So if someone attained to the first stage of enlightenment, that's what we call the right view. That means understanding the right view. If someone say that I have right view, 100%, then that means that he is claiming that he has right view means the first stage of enlightenment, and then again he has his own uh, mirror to see himself with four qualities, which is he has unshakable confidence towards Buddha, seeing Buddha not from a statue but his teachings, and he has an unshakable confidence towards his teachings, and he has unshakable confidence towards arahants, enlightened monks, not just seeing a monk from their naked eye and thinking, okay, this monk may in this level, this monk is in this level. Not like that. Through Dhamma, he understands if anyone practice this, if anyone master this, okay, he can come to this level. And then the last one is he has a regret-free ethical conduct in his life. That means his actions never create regret in themselves. So Arahant Sariputta asking, hey, so what is the way to understand this? Someone has the right view. So then a monk saying, dear Bhante, if you teach this, we will come to wherever you are, say, like no matter the distance. So please teach us. We really want to know that. So it's like, in other words, we all ready to listen to you, and it's please teach us. We really want to learn this. That's what the monks say. So then Arahant Sariputta bringing that Samma Ditti in 14 different ways, I believe. 14 different ways to someone to have right view, and this is not the only 14. If you learn, there are the other ways also. If when you learn teachings, you will find. And right, so then Arahant Sariputta saying, Yatoko also Arya Savako akusalancha pajanati akusala moolancha pajanati kusalancha pajanati kusala moolancha pajanati ettavatāpiko also Arya Savako sammaditi hoti ujugata ditti dhamme avecca pasadena samanagato agato iman saddhammanti. Arya Savako mean, I'm just taking some time to define. There are two different peoples in the teachings of the Buddha. Like the practitioner and non-practitioner, described like Arya Savako and Asuta Putujjana. So Arya Savako means the one who's practicing, and he has 6 qualities. Like that's the way to understand. If one is Aryana Dasavi Arya Dhammas Kovido, Arya Dhamme Suvinito. In there, three we talking. Aryana means that this noble people and noble Dhamma, this noble teaching, they see it. And then they are capable, they are clever to understand it. They see it, they are clever to understand it, and they practice it. Those are the three things. The other three things also almost similar, like Sappurisanan Dasavi, Satpurisa Dhammas Kovido, Sappurisa Dhamme Savinita. Sappurisa means Buddha and noble friends. They see them and they are capable of understanding them, and they are capable of practicing them. So it's like the practitioner means he should have ability to see this reality as it is. Second one, he should be clever enough to understand that. Seeing one thing. Second one is he should be clever enough. Third one is he should actually practice that. So it's like if this is just a coffee table discussion, or some people, when they get too high, that's the time they are starting to talk about philosophies. I mean, the alcohol and something. So it's they are not actually practicing; they are just discussing. So they should see, and they should capable enough to practice, and they should really practice. He's the practitioner. So the non-practitioner is one who don't see. Seeing means it's like this. You know that when we talk about whoever born to this world, he will decay and die, and there is no fulfillment in this life, in that path, if you just commit yourself to just to attach. When we say this, wise people see this. Non-wise people reject this and saying that, oh, it's kind of a negative thinking. Okay, I'm okay with my sufferings, and I'm okay with having like attaching to sensual pleasures and struggling with that. So you should be capable enough, and you should practice. So he's the practitioner. So that a practitioner understand, the first way to understand right view is he understand what is the defilement and what is the root for the defilement. What is the wholesome thing? What is the root for the wholesome thing? So there are three roots of defilements and three roots of wholesome things. Roots for defilements is lobo, or the greediness, or that attachment it creates, and then the anger, doso, moho means that a delusion. Wholesome roots is alobha, that means non-greediness, that opposite of anger, which means that non-anger. Rather than saying it's loving kindness, it says that not anger, and then not delusion. So those are the root for the wholesome thing. So based on unwholesome things arises main 10 defilement actions, defiled actions, and there are many. As an example, based on anger, based on greediness, based on delusion, people kill living beings, people steal, people do mischievous things, people do tell lies and say behind others' back, and then uh, say harsh words, say gossips and things, and hold anger, and too greedy and stingy, and then that holding the delusion. So those are based on that diluted roots. Wholesome roots, the opposite of that, and based on that, there are the other actions. So if someone understands this fully, rather than creating I in your action and framing a personality through you, through that your actions, understand. It's an example. If you are a person, you are not judging someone when that person is angry. You clearly understand Okay, because of anger, he act like this. If once anger over, he acts in a different way. When you have so much of loving kindness, instead of identifying you as the, okay, I am the true example of love and the kindness, okay, because I do not have love, that anger in this moment, and because I have that loving kindness, based on that, I have this loving kind personality. But once this change, flip, I may be a bit harsh, rude. So the understanding that the cause and effect, it's also a dependent origination, dependent from one to another. So understanding this rather than creating I, that's the one way of having right vision. Okay. Even though we talk, when we discuss, this seems like, okay, that's super easy. No, because why I'm saying no, I have seen so many good people. Sometimes they justify their anger because they want, they justify their anger, uh, saying that I hold this anger for good purpose. Clearly they don't have right view. So as an example, think that if you feel like someone, okay, I'll bring a example. Think that any one of you see that, okay, someone creating problems, okay, someone doing something bad to monastery. So if someone do something bad to monastery, so your instant thought may, okay, anger may arises. If you hold anger and justifying anger towards that person create problems to to monastery, then you are not following what Buddha said. But you can justify that, no, I'm doing it for the good purpose. But you are not following what Buddha says. Again. So that's what we need to think, that someone comes and, that someone demolishing a monastery or breaking a statue. So if you hold anger and if you justify that, then we have the samadhi, we have the right view. That person may be do out of delusion. You may holding it out of anger. So you need to understand, okay, then this person do this delusion, based on delusion karma, action arises. Okay, I also felt anger, and because of that, roots are still here with me. And then you need to see it and let it go. And even in the same way, you should not identify you even from your wholesome thing. And again, even you shouldn't identify others even from wholesome things. This person is the wholesome thing person. It's your own judgment. But that person is wholesome because he is having wholesome mind in this moment. It can flip. So when you have this sort of thing, you don't attach. So think that as an example, if you think, okay, Bhante is wholesome, then I have to do everything to protect your Shraddha, confidence. Why? You are having kind holding a frame on to protect you. I have to protect it. So then I have to be an actor rather than practicing my own mindfulness. It's not the right way. So the right way is understanding with what is the action and what is the root. Okay, I think that you have a clear understanding on that, right? Okay, good. And then let's go to the second Sammaditthi. Sadhavso kote bhikkhu ayasmatu sariputtas. Okay, then monks rejoice what Buddha said, and then further question ask. Second way, Arahant Sariputta saying, Aharancha pajanati, ahara samudayancha pajanati, ahara nirodhancha pajanati, ahara nirodhagaminim patipadancha pajanati. I'm not going to discuss it in here, but it's part of a dependent origination. In future, we will discuss it there. For nutritions also, like the unwholesome root, another reason. For nutritions mean that the food what we eat, that physically the food we are taking, divine beings has their food is not so like solid like us. It's a subtle thing. So just to have an understand that also create attachments, and we can understand how it happens. And then second nutrition is vinyana mano sanchetana pasahara. So which mean that consciousness also act as a nutrition to continuity. Contact also work as that, and then the thoughts also, intentional thoughts also create that nutrition. So that's another way to understand. So I'm skipping that because without diving into it, because it may take some time. The third one is four noble truths. Four noble truths means someone can gain samadhi or the right view understanding through the understanding what is suffering, what is cause for the suffering, what is the cessation of suffering, what is the path to cessation of suffering, understanding that, which means that what is dukkha. Dukkha means jatipi dukkha, which means that birth, decaying, dying, and disassociation with the people we like, and association with the people and things we don't like, sorrow, lamentation, and those things. In brief, uh, all aggregates which are which has attachment, five aggregates of clinging. That's we call the suffering. Cause for the suffering is attachment, or the tanha, or the ego. And that ego has its own characteristics. That mean wherever it arises, in there it attached. As an example, as a human, to our consciousness, we do not attach at any case, in any circumstances, to a human poop. I don't know what is the best way to say that. We don't attach that, dispose. But think that gat fly, or any fly who feel it's like a delicious cake to them. When our consciousness turn to that, we attach to that. So that it's the way of the consciousness. Wherever contact arises, that's where the attachment happens. So attachment means not just lust, anger also attachment, and delusion also part of attachment. Okay, that's the second truth. Third is cessation of suffering, which means that end of the old attachment. And fourth truth is path to cessation of suffering. That means noble eightfold path. If someone understands these four noble truths, that's also samadhi. And okay, now we learned three things regarding samadhi. Okay, now the class, what we discuss here. So we dive into Paticca the dependent origination. So in dependent origination, we discuss 12 conditioned things. Okay, let's give it a try. Okay, let's start from the last. Okay, last mean, okay, decaying and death. It's a conditioned thing. It happens, not someone else putting in us. That's the nature. The reason for that nature is what? I need your help here.
Birth.
Yes, birth. Okay. Decay and death happens because of birth. Okay, birth happens because of, feel free to go through your notes.
Becoming.
Becoming. That the arrangement of the karma, like that. That's what we say, the bhava. And bhava. So bhava happens, or that arrangement of karma happens because of what?
Clinging.
Clinging, upada. And that clinging happens because of what?
Craving.
Sorry?
Craving.
Craving. It's like because of craving, clinging happens. So there's a slight difference because between craving and clinging is like, once clinging happens, it's like you are in a stream where you can't think that you suddenly think that craving is like the show that in the beach you just enjoy that, and because of that suddenly that sea current, that you know that there's a that water current takes people who are in the nearby beach to like maybe 100 300 feet inside to the beach, and no matter how hard you try, you don't have energy to win by that. What it call in English here, John?
Rip current.
Rip.
It's a rip
Current.
current.
Okay, so likewise, so because of, thank you, John, because of the craving, that clinging happens, and you don't have a choice, that you are just diving into it. Okay, decaying and death, birth, becoming, clinging, craving. Craving happens because of what?
Feeling.
Feeling.
Yes, because we feel. Based on feelings, we know three feelings we discuss. Okay, feelings happens because of what?
Contact.
Contact. See, we have a very good class here. And contact happen because of what?
Distance
Distance
spaces.
basis.
Because we add phone numbers to our contact book. Because of what?
Sixth sense base.
Sixth sense basis. Sixth sense faculties. So the sixth sense basis. We know that sixth sense bases are eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind. Okay. So sixth sense bases are arising because of what?
Name.
Name and form.
Yeah, name and form, or the mentality, how to say, mentality. Yes, nama and rupa. So it's like the nama means that the in nama part we will learn in future. Vedana, it has feelings, perception, intention, and contact plus manasikara. Manasikara means attention. And the rupa means the four elements. So those are the things. Okay, nama rupa, or the name and for this form, it happens arising because of what?
Consciousness.
Consciousness. Yes, thank you. And consciousness arises because of what?
Formations.
Yes, from the sankhara. So we will learn that the word sankhara, it has different meanings based on where it is. Okay, and then this sankhara, or the formations, arises because of what?
Ignorance.
Ignorance, or the avijja, or the delusion. Right. So now, when we learn these things, we have question. Okay, Bante, decay and death is like super easy, but how can I understand that the rest of the things, and craving and clinging also a bit easy? But so here's the answer for that. So when you understand one thing properly, the rest of the things also you can understand. The next, all the sammadittis are like, okay, I will go with the sutta, then you can have a clear understanding. Siya also yatoko also aryasavako jara maranancha pajananti. In practitioner understand what the decaying and death. Pajanati means realizing about that. And jara marana samudayancha pajananti, cause for the decaying and death. He realizing, understanding. And then jara marana nirodhancha pajananti, that cessation of the decaying and death he realized. And jara marana nirodha gamini Patipadancha pajanati. He understands the path to cessation of decaying and death. Ettavatapi ko also Arya Savako Sammaditya hoti. This also, from just because of this, also he has gained the right vision. Ujugata Saditti, he has the direct vision. And Dhamme Avicca Pasadena, he has that confidence towards teaching. That means it won't shake. That means he even can't shake that confidence. And he has came to this path of practice, like the path of teaching. So what we need to understand that decaying and death, how it happens. Decay and death is a part of life because we are born to this world. So when we born to this world, the only guarantee we have, like everyone have, not in case by case, but everyone has the guarantees. If you're born to this world, you will definitely decay and you will die. In between, there may be, based on your karma, you may be a billionaire, you may be a millionaire, you may be a good person, you may be a like anyone. That means based on that your karma energy has. So but the definite thing is, whoever born, decay and death happen. So that cause for the decay and death is the birth. So that death means yate sansattanam tamma sattanikaya chuti chavanata bedo antaradanam machumaranam kalakiriya kandanam bedo kalebarasa nikkepo jivityandrasa pachedo, which means that whoever living beings, who like any living being in that species, like that vanishing, that there are different ways of describing the death based on the species. So like in basically that letting go this body, that no consciousness, just letting go this body like to compost. So when that happens, we say that that's the death. And another way of that the whole sense faculties are dysfunctioning, it's not functioning. So that's also the death. So this death happens. And decaying means that kandicham, palicham, valichitata. That means that things like teeth, those are falling. Palicham, which means that the hair, body hair and the hair, those things are gray, turning to gray, and then turn into white. Valichitata, which means that skin is wrinkling, and then these sense faculties are like malfunctioning or like not functioning well. Like we can't hear clearly, we can see things, like we need glasses or something, and we don't feel taste as we used to. And likewise this body also turning into pain and not functioning well. Those are the decaying and death happens because of the birth, not someone else creating any problem just because of the birth. If birth is here, decaying and death is here. So when someone has that understanding about that, the 100% clear understanding, that's what we call understanding decay and death. Cause is birth, cessation of decaying and death is cessation of birth, not the killing themselves, not suiciding. We need to work on the birth. And path to that is Noble Eightfold Path, which means that having that right view, based on right view, having that right intention, which means that non-attached intentions, that not letting go of sensual thoughts, letting go of angry thought, letting go of that the harming thoughts, like trying to hurt others. And Samma Vacha, because of this right view, his speak also shaped with saying the truth, not saying things behind others' back, not saying harsh words, not just gossiping and discussing something relatable and valuable and informative things. And because of his right view, his vision, because of his vision, his actions also turn into right action. In there, he don't kill, he don't steal from others, he don't uh, cheat or do those things to hurt others. And then his livelihood also, right livelihood, it does not create regret in that person. I think that some people maybe do some things as a job, but it creates some, it hurt others, sometimes killing beings. So it is not the right livelihood, it hurts them. And then right effort, that effort to let go the defilement, and right mindfulness for foundation of mindfulness. And based on that, having that 4 jhana or the right concentration. So that's the path. With that concentration, he see the rising and falling and the impermanence, and that's the way to attain the Nibbana or the full realization. So if someone has that knowledge, we say that, and the Arahant Sariputta say that, okay, that's the Sammaditya or the right vision. Not only that. So then, if someone has understanding about birth, cause for the birth, real reason for the birth, and how birth cease, and path to cessation of birth, and likewise about the arrangement of the karma or the becoming, or the clinging, or the craving, or the feelings, or the contact, or the six sense faculties, or the mentality and materiality, and the consciousness, and the sankhara, or the formation, or the avidya, or the delusion, ignorance. When someone understands about everything likewise, okay, then he has that samadhi. So what is the main takeaway? Why I took that sutta today? Reason is, you do not want to make like okay, your own like friends, like okay, this is the way to okay understand that. Start from where you feel it and where you can understand it, rather than mapping it in different ways. Why? When you dive into the dependent origination suttas, there are some discussions. Enlightened monks had discussion, like when they meet in the evening, they just discuss. Bhante, how's decaying and death happen? They just say birth, because of birth. And likewise, they say whole 12 things. So that's how they understand, not in a like a invisible mapped way. So so when we have that knowledge, we are so clear, okay, this is the way we are understanding, and then we know what is the meditation to that. So after we learn in these things, I will teach you 1, 2, I'm just counting how many meditations where we can practice from this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Okay, top of my mind, at least there are 6 meditations we can practice based on this, and maybe 10, because when I'm thinking that there are the other places also, there are the other ways Buddha discussed, it comes to my mind. But at least we will learn 6 meditations, so then you have knowledge and you know how to think on that. And when you have a questions, then we have answers from the Dhamma. If we make it like this, think that if you can remember, okay, how many of you can remember that dog reflection story? Raise up your hands if you can remember that, in the bridge in the water, that our dog found another friend, and not friend dog, and started to bark. How many of you remember that? Basically, it's like as a dog, ignorant dog, just having his evening walk in a jungle. Stray dog does not know what is mirror and reflection. While he's going by, he see what his own reflection in the water while crossing the bridge, and he felt like, okay, another dog there. You may have seen some birds are like pecking when they when to see a mirror, because believing that another powerful bird is there, the others is in the other side and want to show his power. So likewise, this dog also barking, and the dog in the water also barking back. Okay, then there's a real problem to that dog, and he's barking and he's tired and he's going now with that anger. He going somewhere and resting under a tree, and while he's to his mind comes that dog comes to his mind who was in the river. Okay, now if that dog asks a question, okay, what that dog ate to the lunch, in not the dog in the river, then I don't have answer for that, because there is no dog in that water in river. So likewise, if we create a problem, then that answer, there's no answer, but we can create an answer and say, but it never fulfill. Then you have another question. Then again I have to create an answer and say, and then it never ends. But if we understand in this way, then what the way Buddhists do, it clearly takes you to like, this is the end. From there on, thereafter, nothing to talk even. So sometimes some Brahmins comes to Buddha and asking, okay, what after that and what after that? Then Buddha saying, after describing the enlightenment, you have gone far. There is nothing to talk after that. So likewise, these teachings are so pure, so clear. It has answers uh, available to discuss and open to all. Nice teaching. According to Buddha, these teachings are shining when you uncover, not when you cover, like sun and moon shines when it uncovers from cloud. So we welcome you all to dive into these sutras, and we will learn little by little uh, these 12 things we need to learn. Vibhanga Sutta. Vibhanga Sutta is the, if you see a Vibhanga means that that's where these sort of concepts are breaking into parts, like what is the birth, what is uh, the or the bhava or the clinging, what is the craving. In there, it talks about in detail. So we will learn Vibhanga Sutta, and in there we can learn furthermore about these 12 things.
It's not even like a question, but rather request.
Yes.
Is whether it's like, if you can, I sort of, with my age, I understand that like a body decaying and all this stuff, but what is Buddhist would be a good explanation for rebirth?
You know that birth is based on bhava, or the becoming, or the arrangement of the karma. So there are 3 levels of karma to arrange. Like one we call the karma bhava. That's what we are learning in detail, like said in next classes. Sensual pleasure field, and there's another rupa bhava, not non-sensual, but it has form. That means that the feeling the form of the feeling this body, whatever the body that living being has. And then there's another third field, is that arupa bhava, or that level which they don't feel the form. So in the sensual pleasure world, there are like the 4 hells, human world, and then there are 6 divine worlds are there. So it's like that 4 hells means that in hell sector also, like that it's a place living beings are born based on their karma. It's not like someone punishing. They're, I mean, someone putting you in tension. It's like based on your karma. That's a system. In that hell world also, there are like in this human world we have countries likewise. So the second one is asura world. They are even though it's a hell, they are the main thing is they are agitated, angry, and they can understand the teachings, but they are so beautiful. They have so much of power. They are like kind of a divine. Then there's another world, the ghostly world. It's more close to humans world, and uh, like 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 mediums can contact them, but they have their different sufferings. Some are suffering from burning, some are suffering from lack of food, and some are eating human dispose like pus, blood, urine, and those things. Not because they like that, as a karma, likewise. And then the animal world also hell. Why it in that world can't understand the teachings? Like the main reason is that hell is like, other than sufferings and pain, they can't understand what's going on in the world. And then the human world is like mixed of happiness and other sufferings. And then the other sensual world is like the Chatu Maharajika Yama Tusita Nimarati. Chatu Maharajika Tavadensa Yama Tusita Nimarati Paranimita Vaswadi 6. And then there's a world with form, which means that meditators and that someone who has concentration, they will reborn in there. And then uh, that formless means that if you can remember in that age jhana, we learned that there are concentrations people practice. Akasananchayatana. Akasananchayatana means that it's a concentration based on like limitless sky, limitless consciousness, and natti kinchi akinchanyayatana, which meant that it's kind of a like emptiness, but it's not just empty. And then no perception, neither perception. Uh, uh, when someone practice those arupa jhana, and there are the jhana sector is so like it's so like that there are different jhanas, and Buddha saying that it's something you can think and finish, and there are different ways of attaining consciousness. And so those people who anyone basically they don't feel form and still they are conscious. That's the field. So in these three field, wherever the reborn can happen based on their karma. So that the karma is like the field. Karma defines their field, like and the power to take there, the fetter stake, we can learn that. But that karma defines where you take, where that consciousness plays. And then the field is the karma, and then the seed is the consciousness. Wherever seed goes, and seed to turn it to a plant, it need water. So water is the attachment. So wherever our consciousness plays, they are in there. This consciousness has ability, this energy has ability to grow. So that to grow, attachment help. So it's not like that thing that, okay, there was a nice discussion back then in 2008 maybe or so. While we are sipping a tea, Sri Lanka is a colonial country to British and Netherlands, and so we had a Netherlands monks with us. And while sipping a tea, one monk said, "You invaded us in 1960s, not 1600s or so." Then that Netherlands monks, he gave a wise answer. Wait a minute, maybe you invaded me because I may Sri Lankan back then, you may a Netherlands, who knows? So likewise, so uh, wherever we go, we attach and we live accordingly.
Well, I guess the question that I have like a too much biology background in the rebirth is more like a biological. But if you're talking about this country origination, so who am I? Like whether I was born in Soviet Union or part of my is like from Ukraine, and it's what is happening right now. It's a very complicated question. But anyway, so again, so I would like to request again to have more discussion about this rebirth. What does it mean? Like in biological sense, maybe in a karma sense, but we can discuss it later.
Yeah.
But thank you
So
for your answer.
yeah, since you asked, I talked about this. Usually, this is because when we talk these things, it's like creating a map in our. Okay, this is how it happens. This is how it happens. Then we will have that invisible dog, and we may want to see what that dog ate. Likewise, what is the power of that dog? Or likewise, so. But when we have that real answer, okay, how that attachment creates, because at the end of the world, end of the day, we really need a fulfillment. We don't seek anything once we feel the fulfillment in a right way. It's not just like fake ecstasy or something. And we need to understand that wherever we suffer, there is the attachment. So we need to find a way to let go that attachment, and not just looking somewhere else and having a stubborn mind, genuinely detached but living happily, sharing and caring with having accountable life, but with fulfilled. So if this is the right moment, like if this is the last breath, happily uh, taking that last breath so happily and peacefully, and exhaling it without expecting another breath again. So that's if our mind is that level, so then there's no questions in our lives.
I have a question about karma. You talk about like I have a question specifically about the animals. How is it possible that as human we can reborn in an animal? In an animal basically, and
Yes,
what
yes,
actions we should avoid not to
yeah,
rebirth in animal basically. Thank you.
yeah. So it's like the main reason is two reasons. It's like the delusion. That means that wrong views. Like that means that we are not opening our vision, and we are just framed in believing like a wrong system, like ignoring that compassion and those things. That's a one reason. Second is the bad ethical conduct. That means that if someone killing living beings, stealing, and doing bad things, and telling lies, and telling behind others' back, telling harsh words, so that sila is the reason if someone reborn in that world. So the reason is we discussed this sometimes ago, but we can relearn those things, which is that that because of our attachment, because of our attachment of our mind frame, and we believe that frame as ourselves, and we justify that. That means that we are cultivate. It's like we are training our mind to be conscious in a way to like with non-wisdom, like that means lack of wisdom. So when our conscious reduce that ability to have that common understanding as a human beings have, so that's why the reason we are reborning, because of our own karma. It's like, because if you want to see your future, you can easily see it. Your future, you can see it through your actions. So your actions is what it creates the field. So what you need to avoid: don't kill living beings, don't steal, don't do bad, that means mischievous and things, and don't tell lies, and don't say behind others' back, and don't say harsh words, and don't be rude and say harsh words, and then don't just waste your time in gossiping and things, and don't hold anger, and don't make a priority to hold anger and hurt and for like take revenge and so, and don't be so greedy, be generous, and then don't have wrong views about life, like killing does not hurt anyone, like that sort of like wrong views, like without compassion and so. So that's the reason.
I had a really quick question. So you say right view, not killing other beings. So let's say I know in a lot of, Buddhist yoga, they don't eat meat, they're vegetarian or vegan, plant-based because of
Yes,
that.
and
But if you
uh,
eat meat, like
yes,
sometimes at the monastery, at the
yeah,
retreat, chicken, is that still okay if it nourishes the body? Because we're still eating things
yeah.
that are.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for bringing that question. So you can later refer the couple of suttas. So main sutta is the Majjhima Canon Jivaka. The Buddha's doctor, physician, is a king's physician also, has this question. So killing and eating is the two different thing. I mean, it's like that eating means you are consuming that. Killing means intentionally you are taking someone's life. So in there, if someone kill to eat, it considered in that killing beings category. If someone killing on behalf of someone, then there's a accountability. And if you are doubtful, okay, this animal killed because of just for you, even you're doubtful, then you shouldn't consume that. So if you eat, it's like this, because karma happen to your intention. Intention is the karma. Chetanaham bhikkhave kamma vadan. Intention is the karma. Think that you are sweeping, after your intention is sweep, but after you sweep, you see bunch of ants died. But your intention is not, you are not in a mission to kill ants, but it has happened. But you, based on your intention, you get good merit because you are cleaning some place. So likewise, think that you are eating this a fish, piece of from fish. That fish died a week ago. uh, I think that Michael went to sea and to fishing, and he never had any intention. Okay, I'm going to fish, and I'm going to I'm going to find a fish and unlive it and put it to a freezer and giving it to Stacy to cook a delicious meal to offer bounty. There was no such a thing. You went to market, and if you do so, you take it and then you offer it. And so there is no connection to the uh, unaliving that living being.
So if the intention is just to eat it, it's okay. But if we're going out intentionally to harm it, that's a whole different story,
That's
correct?
whole different thing. And there are, there are benefits of being vegetarian, and there are benefits being having that the healthier lifestyles with having only protein also. I'm not talking those things. I'm talking about consciousness and karma, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So next time I eat meat, I shouldn't feel bad.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying, that don't do something like that's why these open questions are so helpful. So then we are so genuine what we are practicing, about what we are practicing. Say sadhu 3 times. Santa, Santa, Santa. Today, we all as a group, we learned about the Paticca or the dependent origination, and we accumulated good karma, good merits, good blessings to our life. And let's share all these merits with all the divinely powers and with your private guardians and with all the past relatives and friends, and with our teacher, Pinnat Lokoswami Wahanse, and all the monastic monks who live all around the world. And let's share all these blessings with our wonderful volunteers and all the Dhamma learners and listeners who comes to this class. May you all be well. May you all be happy. May your all good wishes come true, and may you all able to practice Dhamma and attain the Nibbana in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.